Hello, guys. Hey, everyone that's out there. This is the Friday edition of Anvil Music and Media. My name is Brett with Anvil, and I'm your host for today's live. Today's live, we are diving into some more mixing principles. I've been talking for the past week or so about how to put your mix together, how to sort of um, after you've created, after you've had your session, your recording session, what does your mix sound like? What sort of things should you look towards? What are the options that you have in order to get the correct mix? So today we're going to talk about some of those principles, some tips that you can use specifically. Your drums and your vocals. Drums and vocals are a very important part of the mix, but over the past few weeks, I've been talking about mixing for those who are into recording and into maybe they have their own studio, may have just started, who are doing vocals, arrangements, all of the stuff that requires recording studio equipment. Well, at some point, you've gotten the idea, but of course, ideas are always rough. They never come out perfect. So you kind of have to sculpt out and carve out your mix of what you want it to sound like. So I appreciate you all for joining today. I did a little something different this morning. I did actually attach the title to the video at the encouragement of one of my good friends who also is on the space in YouTube. So as you're watching, as you're joining, just come on in. Let me know where you're watching from. I appreciate everybody. We're gonna get started right into the live. Let me know where you're watching from. Please like and subscribe to this channel. My name is Brett with Anvil, and yeah, we're talking principles. I've got a couple sheets of paper. I'm gonna maybe do some vague illustrations of some things that you should think about um, in the world of mixing, in the world of recording, but mostly mixing. So I appreciate you guys for joining. Feel free to say hi. We're just hanging out. It's one of my favorite days. Friday, of course. Friday is a great day to be online, to be live, to be talking to you guys, to be sort of conversing with you all. So let me know as you are watching in the chat. Let's see. We've got Cam Raptor 0903. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining the chat. Thanks for joining the live. I appreciate you so much. You guys let me know where you're watching from. Thank you all for joining today. Today, we're going to talk about some mixing tips that you can sort of dive into, that you can learn. I've been in the mixing world for maybe about 10 to 12 years. And I've learned a lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot of stuff out of the dirt. Like I've learned so much when it comes to mixing. I'm in my studio now, and it's nothing like being creative, right? It's nothing like taking an idea. It's nothing like seeing an artist come to the session. If you've written with them, I've seen projects from cradle to grave, right? The entire process of the project, when you first start your ideation and then you go to your implementation. It's just been a great process. So, Mina, hey, how are you doing? Mina says hi. Hi to Mina in the chat. Let's see. So, let's get right into the video, and I may have some questions. If you guys have any questions, of course, let me know in the chat. We're gonna get right into. Let's see. Let me make sure we're here today. What else we got? All right. So, it's exciting for me to sort of go through the whole process of creativity. Um, Really, anything that I do, I try to add value to the space that I'm in, whether I'm in a writing session, whether I'm in a recording session, whether I'm mixing. It really doesn't matter. If I have a client, most of my clients are one on one. So we do sort of communicate throughout the week. We are currently, I have like one client that we're about to start a single. He's gonna release a single. We were gonna go in the studio. He's probably gonna come here and do most of his recording. But it's a joy for me to sort of see that process, because every time I sort of get into creativity, I mean, for me, it's all about the relationship and the communication with the artist and the client. So um, things are things are good there, and I just absolutely, absolutely love it. Um, so yeah, it's a joy for me to sort of record and all that good stuff. But let's get right into the video. Let's talk about some things that you want to really consider when you are first starting your mix. And so even a preface to getting into a mix. A lot of times when I first open a session, the very first thing that I do the very first thing that I do, if I have not already, which I probably should have, but I like to make sure that I have my mix in order, right? I want all of my tracks, everything to be labeled, everything to be color coordinated, or colorized, different colors, so I can actually see what I'm doing. You know, I'm east to west on the screen, north to south. Everything is in place. All of those vocals that I recorded that I need to maybe trim off the end of the waves. I just want it neat. I want it very neat, before I actually start diving into the creativity. Because the last thing you want to do, because mixing is a creative part of the process, but the last thing you want to do is jump into that process of mixing and realize you have to do some cleanup. So it's always best to clean up, and that goes for anything. Like even my studio, to make sure my studio is clean. I don't like to live and to create or to do work in clutter. It just doesn't do anything. So make sure your mixes when you first turn on your session. After you recorded everything, make sure everything is clean. I like to go and clean up everything. So the next time I sit down, and even if I spend like an hour with that next time that I come back in and turn the session back on, I'm ready to go, right? I am absolutely ready to go. So um but even after that, of course, that's the very beginning of what we're sort of doing. So make sure you're cleaning up your sessions, especially if you're sending it to somebody like me who mixes. You've got to have your sessions labeled. We can't have audio one, audio two, vocal one, vocal two, vocal three. And I'm sort of in a myriad of mess and clutter, and I don't really know what's going on here. That's not a good thing. I've done it. We've all done it. It's an amateur mistake, right? Amateur mistake. I would even go as far as making sure your volume levels are, at a decent level. And we can maybe talk about gain staging in another sort of video. But like gain staging, for me, it's like setting the table before the guests arrive, right? You want everything in place before you actually bring the food and the flavor, right? You know what I mean? So um to that part. So you have set your session up. You've made sure that your vocals are ready to sort of mix. You're ready to go. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to think about actually making sure all of your tracks are balanced. Like it's so important to make sure that all your volumes, and this is sort of an underestimated this is an underestimated part of mixing, because it's not sexy, it's sort of boring. Who wants to talk about volumes in your mix, right? Like if I'm looking at a mix, I'm ready to dive in all the EQs and all the plugins. I'm ready to dive right in, right? Volume, make sure your volumes are level. That's boring, right? But I'm literally, as a mix engineer, I found out the most boring process, or the most boring parts of your mix are the most important parts that you should address. If you're trying to push it off later on, you're gonna have to end up addressing it. But now you're gonna end up addressing it um with a mountain of effects and a mountain of things that you've already sort of added to the recording. And now you're gonna have to sift through all of that and try to go back and make sure everything's good before that, So that's sort of, it's crazy, right? So make sure your volume levels are good, all level of all the tracks. And then after that, what you want to do is you can now probably start to I would say either you can start to EQ, subtractive EQing your tracks, or if you don't EQ, you can also maybe start to position your tracks in different in the areas where it's needed, right? So what you want to do is there is a stage that is set for the mix. And on this stage lives your vocals, lives your drums, lives your bass. And this is generally this is generally speaking in most mixes. You want to make sure that uh and generally it just depends. Do I attack EQ first or do I attack um positioning my instruments left, right, or center? And I've learned over the years that this is really what unfolds your mix into a stereo position. And there's also mono mixing in this. But let's just start with the stage, right? So my stage, I have vocals. Vocals are literally front and center, right? Vocals are literally front and center. And I would say I probably go back and forth. I would say for the most part, usually I make sure my vocals are in place, either left, right, and center before I start EQing. Because if I EQ first and then I sort of spread them out in the mix, left, right, and center, then I'm gonna probably have to tweak again the EQ. So, my vocals are gonna be front and center. My backgrounds are gonna be pretty much panned out, either at a 45 or 180 each side. And drums are gonna be in the middle. Just set like a stage, right? It's just like a stage. On the stage, your vocals are in the middle on the in the middle, dead center. Your backgrounds are probably either to the left or the right. But for balancing sakes, you wanna balance on each side. Um, your drums are in the middle. Even more specifically, your drum kick is directly in the middle because people when they hear a kick, they want to hear it directly in the middle. Sometimes like I've heard in the past of some recordings, and not just I've heard them. They used to do that. They used to like pan like drums on the far right, and like the piano on the left, and like the vocals be somewhere in the center, and it's like kind of off. The balance is off of like what your ears are hearing. So you kind of mix just like almost like how your body is positioned. Like if you were to split your body right down the middle, you got your eyes over here, ears over here, and the eyes on this side, and they're evenly split, so it's asymmetrical. um so the position of your vocals matters, right? It absolutely matters, the position of your vocals and your piano and your drums. And I will add to that, one of the two most important parts or tracks or items in your mix are going to be your vocals and your drums. Like those are two of the absolute most important functions of the recording that you want to focus in on that. So for those of you that are joining, my name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. I appreciate you joining today. Today, we're talking about some fundamentals of mixing, some fundamentals of after you record it, what should you sort of start tackling first? And so we started talking about panning your tracks and making sure your tracks are panned left, right, and center, getting your tracks in position based off of the virtual stage that they're on. So and after you've done that, you can sort of get into the EQing process. Now, generally, the first instrument that I start out with is normally the drums. It's going to be either drums or vocals. I've really got to get the drums, really just hold the foundation of the song. So I've got to make sure that my drums are. I got to make sure my drums are are locked. You know what I mean? I got to make sure that they're good. I got to make sure that I can hear the beat. I can like clearly because you want to get. And some people, here's another thing. Some people like to mix really fast. They like to like really just kind of gloss and mix really fast and to the point where they've gotten the mix to a certain level. You know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily do that. I like to center focus, zone in on the drums, and it's sort of a good thing to make sure that you start with the drums first. And I start normally with the kick and the snare. And then what I'll do is I'll throw just a general EQ on my drums, and I'll start mixing. And mixing is literally just separating. It's like you're sculpting out how the song. You have to let the song talk to you. What is the song saying to you? Is it a slow song? Do you feel like there's going to be a need for space? Like what is that going to sort of look like? So the other thing is after you've done that, you can sort of like maybe jump over to the vocals, but vocals and drums are going to be the main vocals and drums are going to be the main instruments that you want to sort of that you want to make sure that you balance, right? Right. One thing that I like to do, a tip that I like to do is once I've started that, I will switch or flip back in between mono and stereo because I like to listen. So mono is basically listening in. You just got one. You have one source, one speaker. There's no stereo. There's no left and right, so you can really hear everything collapse how it sounds together. Because a lot of speakers. Well, they're not that many speakers now, but the speakers back then, like because mono was only one source, like your mixes had to be like on target, had to be on target. Tanush is here. Hey Tanush, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I hope you're good since the last time we talked. Hope your week has been good. um but yeah, so I like toggling between stereo and mono, and there should be a mono plugin in your mix, like that you can like turn on, and it sort of folds your mix in to one thing. So um that's another tip that you can use. And like I've mixed with mono, and then I'll fold it back out to stereo, and it sounds so much better because it's like you're just dealing with less is more. Like you don't have so much real estate of left, right, and center, all of the pans. Like it's such a great tip to have. Um, mono is like stress testing your song. Literally, it forces the song to stand on its own without sort of the bells and whistles. Well, anyway, Tanu says everything is good, nothing is wrong. Good. I'm glad. Did you make it back, Tanush, to India? I hope you made it back safely. To everybody else, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Today we're talking about some basic mixing points, basic mixing 101. So another tip I want to add to this is, you know what, guys, make sure that you are mixing with your ears and not your eyes. When I tell you this is very important, because a lot of what we see, number one, in your DAW, you have so many options of plugins that you can sort of go to, like endless plugins, and companies have figured this out that they can sell you all of these plugins just because you think it's gonna actually make your mix sound better, when really it's the experience of the mixer or the mix engineer that makes the mix good. It's not a plugin. You can't just slap plugins on your mix and uh expect it to perform. So you gotta mix with your ears and not your eyes. So a lot of times I'll close my eyes, I'll look away from the screen, so it forces my ears to take the lead in mixing. Your eyes are obviously going to take the lead because they're out in front. You're watching as what you're mixing. this is something I have to practice to do this even more and more, because it's not natural to just listen with my eyes. But and that's why blind people are phenoms when it comes to like music and listening, because like they have to, because they're blind, their ears have to sort of take up the slack, or their senses and their other senses, their taste or their smell, um, become heightened to take the replacement of their sight. So that's a tip, and I really like that tip. I need to use that tip more, but so uh, Tanush says, "Well, I'm just asking. I had to buy an iPhone for budget range, which is good. 15 or 16." Tanush, yeah. I'll answer your question in a minute. Um, but yeah, so let me ask a question. Do you in the chat who usually starts their mix with drums or vocals? Let me know in the chat what you start your mixes with. Um, and you have to picture your mix like you're on a stage. Who's in front, who's in back, and these are the next levels of mixing. But of course, obviously, reverb is something that will push your tracks to the back if you need them to be less present, or maybe have for the tracks to be have an ambiance about them. You have to sort of position each of your tracks in your mix to make sure it's going well. So those are a few points I wanted to sort of share, and I'm going to sort of get into some more points as we sort of go further and deeper, and maybe kind of get you guys to see a bird's eye view into some of my mixing sessions, some of my vocal sessions, some of my recording sessions. I'll have a few coming up, so that'll be a fun thing to do. All right. Tanish says, you're asking about the 15 or 16E. Tanish, when it comes to iPhones, I would just I prefer the 15. And that's only because I have a 15, right? Um that's that's literally because I have a 15. So, um hopefully that hopefully that helps you out there. Um Yeah, but I am just I have just fallen in the I've probably fallen in love with the mix more than even the recording itself, just because it's like, okay, now it's on me to sort of figure out how I'm gonna make this song work. And I'm not saying make it work, right? But I'm saying I'm gonna figure out how creative I can be with this song. So Tanu says, you're asking, does the 15 have a heating issue? No, I haven't had any heating issues with my 15. Actually, none of my iPhones I've had heating issues with. I've had heating issues, well, not even issues, but my MacBook Pro gets really it gets warm. It gets warm, and I didn't realize that until after I purchased it. But it's sort of something that I deal with. I'm not really, if it gets heated, I mean, I shouldn't have it in a room that's like filled with heat and other items to where it's gonna overheat. Um, the MacBook Pro I have is like a 2019 2018. So yeah. But no, you won't have any heating issues with the 15. Any others in the chat? Let me know where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video today. Appreciate you guys for joining. I just wanted to come on and give just a little small lesson on mixing and what you can look forward to if you are just starting. Any first timers out there watching the live for the first time? My name is Brett with Anvil. I appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you for um, for joining the chat. Tanya says, I better go for 15 then. I hope it's smooth. Yeah, I don't think you'll have an issue with the 15. Hopefully you're buying it new. Hopefully you're purchasing the 15 new. So um, But yeah, in the future, I'm really gonna dive into the whole recording. I want to even have a recording series, a recording class that I can sort of we can sort of dive in based off of my experience of what I've learned in my years of recording. Right, right. Uh, so you have to picture your mix like a stage. You have to make sure you know who is main the main attraction, which is the vocal. People are going to be thinking vocal and lyrics first, then they're going to go over to drums and all of the other elements, whether it be pads or keys or uh, whatever you have in your mix. It's all about consistency, congruency. It's all about each track plays a part in the overall song. So you gotta really lock in on that. So in review, it's all about making sure that you get your balance right in your mixing. You've got to balance. You got to make sure your balance is correct, right? You gotta EQ when you start EQing. You gotta EQ your tracks with purpose, right? Each track serves as its own sort of uh, as its own in the mix, right? You're carving out as you're EQing. You're carving out space for other tracks. So that's really important, and you don't want to carve out too much. You can also carve and you can also add. I've been learning to like add certain EQ boost within certain tracks, not just carving out or subtractive EQing. You've got your low pass filters, your high pass filters. These are very, 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 very important, very, very vital. Um, you've got to provide and prioritize clarity. You have to prioritize clarity and presence and space for your vocal. Like that's so important. You got to make sure the drums, especially the kick and snare, you got to make sure that they're felt and not just heard. That's a huge thing. Make sure your drums are felt. You got to feel the drums, not hearing, because if you're hearing them, that means they're too loud, right? You got to build your mix on these two very things. If your vocal doesn't sit right in your mix, people are not going to connect with the song. They're going to just probably press next or go to the next one because we live this world. We have so many options to listen to in songs. If your drums don't hit hard, then the energy will fall off the song, like it'll fall fast. So drums and drum I can't stress to you enough, drums and vocals are so important, right? Right. We also talked about mixing in mono, right? Mixing in mono allows you to really see what you have within your mix. Mixing in stereo can be deceiving because depending on, and I would think most of us are either probably recording at home or mixing at home, unless you have like a state of the art studio. It's probably best to check your mixes in mono or to mix in mono because stereo is absolutely deceiving. I was in a recent session, probably maybe about no, it wasn't recent. It was probably maybe about 8 8 months ago, where I was talking to the mix engineer, and this is a state of the art studio. This guy's mixed probably over you know 1,000, I don't know, 1,000 songs, right? And I was asking him about mono and stereo, and he was like, "Man, I don't really mix in mono anymore because I don't have to because I have the equipment that's kind of whatever I play, it actually plays it exactly how I know it's going to sound on any other source, right?" So I was like, well, I was quiet after that because I was like, yeah, he's right. I'm looking around at the studio, and it's like, yeah, everything in here is state of the art. So, but that's the sleeper tip is to make sure you're mixing in mono. Tanu says, you asking me what was my first childhood favorite game? I don't know. My first childhood favorite game? Ooh. Um when I was a child we had I had a 3-in-1 like 3-in-1 like hockey table, tennis table, and I think a pool table, which I thought was pretty cool. So you could play pool, and then you could you got put two boards on top of it and put the net in the middle. And then you could play tennis, and then you could. I think it was also was it air hockey or something? I think air hockey. That was my first childhood favorite game. I don't know what was yours. Um, let me know in the chat. Anybody else that like to say hi? Let me know where you're watching from in the world. My name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. I appreciate you for joining the chat today. We're just talking about some mixing tips for you guys out there. We've got maybe some record engineers, recording engineers, and mixing engineers. Two different, two different, two different sets of individuals. Mm, Recording, of course, you're laying the vocals, making sure everything is good, making sure the idea gets down, and then the mix engineers takes it to the next level. So, um, yeah, we've been talking about that. I was talking recently about mono mixing and mono. In mono, you really hear the true sound of your recording, right? Are your vocals buried behind your pads and your guitars? You really can tell who's in front and where your balance is in your mix. Is the snare fighting a synth? Because we don't want the snare. If the snare and the synth are fighting, then you got to carve out space for the snare. You gotta get that synth out of the way. Carve it out. Make sure it's still there and still present, but you've got to carve out that space for the snare. Another question is, is your low end muddy or mixy or muddy? Muddy is it muddy, or is it just like you can't really hear it? Is it in the background? Like, so you've got to get your low ends correctly. Most likely that's probably your drum kick that's fighting your bass. You don't want your drum kick and bass to fight. You have to carve out the space for the. And we can talk about frequencies. In your EQ, there literally sets. There is a frequency. Four different sets of frequency. You got your high, you got your mid highs, you got your mids, you got your mid lows, and your lows. Was that five? One, two, three, four, five. And so, I don't know. Has anybody ever tried mixing in mono before? Let me know in the chat. Um, if not, I would give it a shot in your next mixing session. Um, you'll start to hear the difference immediately. I can promise you. I wanted to tell you also. Here's another great tip for you guys that are mixing out there. If you're mixing a session, give yourself a time to wrap up, because sometimes we go too long, and when you go too long, you go wrong. What I mean by that is, if you're sitting behind uh, either the board or the computer and you're listening to the song over and over and over and over, your ears are gonna eventually become paper, right? It's like you're not going to sort of get. I would say even in the first 30 to 45 minutes of mixing a song is probably you're going to get 80% what you need to do done. Stop while you're ahead. It's been plenty of times where my ears have fooled me, and so I try to fool them back, right? I try to make sure I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing now is not adding anything to the mix, or if it's adding, I can't really tell because my ears are done, they're washed, right? And of course, we know, if you're listening to your mix like too loud, your ears are gonna fatigue, and they're gonna drop out even faster. So make sure you're mixing your song at an optimal level, that the volume is sort of not too loud. You should be able to talk and hear the person next to you as you're mixing. If you can't hear the person next to you, turn your volume down. Your volume's too loud. So Tanu says, my first childhood favorite game in outdoor is nothing but indoor. It's Temple Run. Okay, I know. Is Temple Run, is that a what is Temple Run? Is that's an actual game? I'm not sure what that is. Is that a game? Yeah, I've never heard of that game. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I've never heard of Temple Run. So guys, I want to tell you also, I have a ebook that is out. If you guys are looking for a new computer, maybe you're looking to buy a new MacBook Pro or an iMac. Maybe you're not sure what you want to buy based off of where you are. You just know you need to upgrade. Maybe you're thinking about getting into what we're talking about, getting into production. It doesn't have to be production. Maybe you're like I'm a aspiring graphic artist and I want to do some things digitally online. And I'm not sure what computer I need for this. Number one, an Apple computer is going to be your best number one source. It's going to be your best. It's going to be your best option. You might be getting into videography, editing videos. We do all of that here. Perhaps you're looking into, maybe doing what I'm doing right now, going on live. You want to make sure you have a computer that can sort of that is capable enough. you so if you are that person, I have an ebook just for you. My ebook is available now. This ebook, it gives you all the specs rundown of your what computer you may be looking for, because not all of them are created equal. And as you look at the prices are contingent upon how much RAM and storage you actually need. At one point, I was looking. At one point, I was looking at the Mac Studio. It's just too much money. I've even actually transitioned over, looking to the what's the Mac Mini M4. But nevertheless, this ebook is a sort of a guide to help you. For those who are looking for computers, it gives you all the specs based off of if I'm a graphic artist, this is the computer you need. If I'm aspiring to do production and make tracks and do music, um, this is the computer you're going to need. It's going to sort of take you through that, all of those items, all of those specs that you sort of need in your computer. So um Nina, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining in. It is Friday, guys. Tanush says Temple Run is an Android game. Okay, cool. Yeah, Androids weren't around when I was when when I was growing up. We didn't have Androids. We just had regular phones. We had the internet. That was cool. Tanush says, "Can you suggest me a good Apple computer which lasts long and has a fair price?" Yeah, Tanush, go use. I would definitely go get you something used. I know that you said you guys don't have eBay there. Did you ever research any companies that sell used computers? Uh Tanush says, dude, is it morning right now? It's morning where I am, but I don't know if it's morning where you are. Nina says I am here. Hey Nina, how are you doing today? Happy Friday to you. Even though I don't like saying Happy Friday, but this is a good day. It's a good Friday. Um, you're saying it's pizza day today. Oh, okay. You guys are getting pizza today. That's always fun. That's always fun. It is always fun. But yeah, Tanish, um, I would suggest to you, Tanish, tell me how much storage do you need? How much RAM do you need? Are you looking for a computer to take with you? Are you looking for a MacBook Pro? Or are you looking for something gonna be that's gonna be at your house? Um, I would say the Mac Mini, the Mini M4 is a great source. Great source. Great source. For those of you all that are joining, please, if you get a chance, subscribe to the video. Check out my videos online. I have a lot of tech videos. I'm getting more into the studio stuff, and the stuff that I actually do. The reason why I'm here, the reason why I chose Apple to begin with, that reason was music, it was production, it was vocal recording, all of that good stuff. So yeah, Nina, I hope you have a good day today. On this, if it's pizza day, that sounds like that's going to be fun. You guys are probably I know you're looking forward to that. Um, I know growing up for me, Fridays was always pizza day. Fridays was always sort of pizza day. Anybody else have any other comments? Anybody joining for the first time? Anybody sort of here for the first time? Let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Tanu says it's a rainy day and literally at midnight, 2 a.m. there was a flood. You had a flood in your house, man. Oh man, how did that happen? That that's always so water damage and water flooding is probably my biggest fear of all. Like getting water damage, like it's yeah, it's something I dream about on a consistent basis. Probably shouldn't, but like I know for some reason I fear water damage. Um, I just watched there was a new Twister movie that was out, and of course that was all about like storms and rain and water, and so it probably wasn't good for my anxiety, right? Um, Zion, hello, greetings to you. Thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate you for saying hello and coming to um, the chat. We're hanging out. I just finished talking a little bit about mixing, a little bit about recording, and some things you can think about, some tips. So I don't know if you're just joining, but don't forget to go watch the replay if you get a chance. And those of you who are watching the replay, I appreciate your support. I thank you so much for watching. This is a community we just kind of we really hang out. I'm on live. I come on live every Tuesday and Friday around this time. Lately, I've been coming on Wednesdays. I don't know, like it's Wednesdays is sort of like a big crowd. So yeah, join me on Wednesdays too. I might be up here. Just check. So thanks for joining, Zion. Thank you so much. I hope I'm saying your name right. Right. Let me know where you're watching from. I like that name. Where'd you get that name from? Zion. Am I saying that right? Um, Tanu said I did enjoy it and played it a lot. Played a lot with water. It was clean. Yeah. What are you saying? What did you enjoy? I know you didn't enjoy a flood. If y'all been getting a lot of rain, I know we've been getting a lot of rain here in the states, um, where I live. So I'm in the eastern part of the United States. Uh, so Mr. Human Mohammed is back. Thanks for joining. You asked me, do I have a job? Yes, I do. I have several jobs. I probably have like 4 or 5 jobs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining the chat, man. I appreciate you all. You guys been rocking with me. You guys have any questions? Any sort of tech questions? What do you guys? You guys have to let me know what you guys want to talk about. What's going on in your life today? Um, I had my I had my pen with me. I was gonna draw some things on my board, but I didn't get to that today. Um, let's see, Mr. Human. Is that a joke? I'm not sure. I had to censor it for your unemployed viewers. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, man. Tanu says, let's see. Tanu says, tell me something which is hard in life, studying or working with job. What's hard in life about my job? Are you asking what's hard in life about my job or studying? Nothing's really hard. I think you say that probably because you're younger. I don't necessarily see my job or even studying as a hard thing. Um, my life now consists of deadlines. That's probably the hard thing. Like I can get it done. I don't have a problem doing whatever I need to do, the responsibilities I have. It's just a deadline of getting that done within in a timely manner is what, because generally as a human, we procrastinate a lot. We procrastinate most of the time. So the procrastination that gets me, because I'm like, I know I need, if I have, I don't know, if I have a project I need to do and it's a deadline on it, I know I need to pace myself. Otherwise, if I get to the last 2 days before the project's due, I'm already uh super anxious about it. I have waited too long, so now I'm up to here, and I'm like, yeah, it's not a good thing for me. So I don't know if that is, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you need to censor. Yeah, I don't know why you need to censor the J word. Is there a reason why you need to censor that? Human? Yeah. Um, Arab Musi Classic is here. Hey, how's it going? Uh, oh, oh, you joking? I figured you were joking, man. I figured you were joking. Well, who is the joke on? Is the joke on the unemployed people or the joke is on the employed people? I'm not sure. Um, I'm employed twice over, 3 times over. Yeah, yeah. I do recognize, Mohammed, that we do have to censor a lot of things here online. Um, I'm clear about the platform that I'm on. See, because that's the thing with YouTube. It is a platform that they own. I don't necessarily own this space. Now, what I have done is a lot of the videos that I have, I own them and I have them in my possession. But I do understand the censoring world of YouTube. So that is in most cases it's funny. Some cases it's not funny. So what else you guys got? Any other questions? I don't know if I answer your question, Tanish. I don't know if that did I answer your question. I wasn't totally clear about what you were saying. What are you guys sort of doing? What do you guys have going on this weekend? I'll be hanging out. I'll be around. Um, but yeah, what other questions um, you guys have? Don't forget, I'm here live every Tuesday and Friday. I appreciate you guys and the community that we've sort of built. It is a small community, and I like small communities. Ask me if it grows. I'm sort of cool with that, but this is this community that I have. Um, I love it. You guys are amazing. You are uh, you guys are amazing. Um, yeah. Here's another joke. You like hedgehogs? Would you like to have one as a pet? No, I don't know if not necessarily want hedgehogs. No, no, thank you. Um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to have a pet, not just not a hedgehog. That's funny. Any other questions? You guys have got any other tech questions? Any other studio questions? As we're hanging out in my studio, um, a couple of videos ago, I gave you a studio tour of what I sort of have in my studio. That was kind of fun. Um, Maybe I'll get into some more studio talk. And thank you guys for joining so much. I ask that you subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. If you get a chance. Get it if you get a chance this weekend. Go check out any one of my videos. Watch one of my videos that interests you. Let me know in the chat that you were here in the live, and I will respond to you. That way, I can kind of see who you are. Um, Leave a comment in the video that you watch. Let me know. Say, hey, I was a part of the Friday live, and I'll sort of respond back. And it's good to meet you guys. It's nice to be acquainted with you all on live. How many first timers do we have here? How many first timers do we have in the chat? Type a one. Type a number one in the chat if you are a first timer. Let me know if you're first timer today. We're hanging out. This is Friday. I went over a little lesson, and now we're sort of just like talking about random stuff. That's what we do. Tanu says, "Do I like cats or dogs? I prefer dog. I'm not mad at cats. I grew up around cats. Like my grandmother had cats, and she had a dog. They were all like strays, so they stayed outside. That's just no. uh Mohammed, you got four cats? Is that what you're saying? Four? Is that the uh, you said you think? Is that like are those whiskers? Come on, guys. What else you got? Say hello to me in the chat. Um, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. But yeah, I'd rather have a dog. I've never had a dog. I really never had pets growing up. I was always sort of like in a sentimental way. My fear. I guess we're talking about fears today. Another fear of mine, besides water damage and flooding, is if I had a pet and it passed away or it got sick. I think that would probably devastate me because I'm like I don't I don't like loss. I don't like death. You know, that's sort of a thing that yeah. That's why I'm never really pressed to have a cat or dog or pet. Plus, there are a lot of responsibility. Like there's too much responsibility. I got enough things going on. Because I'm sitting here talking to you guys, um, but no pets. No pets as of right now. I'm not saying that's never going to happen, but for the most part, it won't. All right, let me see what sort of news we have in the tech world. Anybody? Does anybody have Apple TV? Anybody have Apple TV and watch the shows and the movies on Apple TV Plus? it's Apple's um, it's Apple's version of TV and movies. I didn't realize they were in 4K. Anybody have Apple TV? Let's see. It looks like in the news, Apple has is set to expand its retail footprint in India by opening its third store. Um, so it's going to be at Bengaluru Phoenix Mall of Asia. Tanush, are you familiar with the Mall of Asia? Um, so this is a move by Apple, and it underscores the company's commitment to the Indian market at a time when its growing partnership is provoking tension with our president here. Interesting. Um, According to the report, this new store will occupy approximately 8,000 square feet. That's a big store. Um, so it's like they're moving a store to India. Apple is expanding this, and it's in a broader strategy in India. Looks like Tim Cook recently confirmed the plans to open up 4 retail stores in the country, including locations in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, NCR, and Bengaluru. Bengaluru, I think that's right. Oh yeah, Apple's opening a new store in India. Um, Tanu says, "Yeah, me too. I even lost my pet dog named Tabby 7 years ago and literally risked its life for me, and it saved me from stray dogs." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Apples. Animals are great companions. I did actually have a parrot when I was growing up. I had a parrot for a while, probably for maybe 3 months. And I set it outside, and the stupid cat came and knocked the cage over, and the parrot flew out. And needless to say, it probably didn't survive because it was a domestic animal. I like that parrot. I forgot what I called it. I used to feed it and clean the cage and all that good stuff. Tanu says dogs are loyal. Yes, dogs are very loyal. Probably more loyal than humans, right? Yep, probably more loyal than humans. Any other comments? Anybody else have any questions today? I want everybody to have a great weekend. I want you guys to join me back next week. We're going to sort of get into more topics. You guys let me know what you any sort of challenges that you have with any sort of tech that you have, any products, any other questions that you have. Tanu says that's why I don't want to have a pet. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. Pets are great creatures. It's just you know just deciding what you want to have. Some people have so many pets. I'm like, you got too many pets. So uh, if you're new to this chat, my name is Brett with Anvil. Yes, we talked earlier about um, you guys who are aspiring to learn how to record, how to mix, maybe how to even create. Maybe we'll one day we'll maybe I'll go through my process of how I write songs, how I write lyrics. Lyrics are so easy now, and you got AI to sort of help you with lyrics. I'm not saying for them to write lyrics for you, but it's like AI is so amazing in what it can do. I literally use it every day of my life, existing life. Um, but yeah, that's what we'll sort of get into. Um, what do I think of Samsung? I mean, I think Samsung is a good product. I don't I don't ever see it surpassing Apple, um, just because it doesn't have what Apple has. And what Apple has is the iPhone. The iPhone is not going to be surpassed, and unless Samsung can make something equal or great to that, that they will not surpass Apple. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, but Samsung is good in their own space, right? They're a major appliance and consumer electrics company, or a consumer electronics company. Um, but I don't think they're gonna sur- surpass iPhone. Yeah, literally, people sell their kidney to buy an iPhone. No kidding. Wow. Yeah. Do you go as far as say somebody's selling their kidney? I mean, hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, that just shows you Apple's marketing is second to none. They have they have one of the greatest marketing programs like out there. So I mean, I'm not surprised that people will sell maybe not their kidney. I don't know. They're gonna sell their kidney, but Samsung's a good property. I mean, a good company rather. What do I have? Do I have a Samsung like TV? I think maybe we have one or two Samsung's TVs. It's a good great company. Great company. Guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel. We're growing, man. I mean, this has been about 3.5 weeks. I've been doing lives, just really getting my feet wet into the YouTube live game, sort of locking in on um, how this content creation thing works. We're sort of excited, man. We're excited about what we've got going on, man. And so glad to have you guys as a part of the community. Um, Tanush, I appreciate you and your comments. Um, one of the You're one of the faithful. I don't know if Nina is still there. Did Nina drop off? Nina probably had to go to school, uh, which that's important. Anybody else in the comments? Leave a comment. Say hi. If you're passing by, I appreciate you for dropping in for the time that you dropped in. Tanush is the Samsung S25 Ultra versus the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which has a better camera. Actually, did you see I did a short on that? The 25 Ultra actually has a pretty they're both comparable, right? Some people like the 25 model, the S25, but I'm gonna go iPhone 16 Pro. I'm just biased, right? I'm just biased. Are you talking about camera for pictures or for video? Because either pictures or video, let me know. The S25 versus the iPhone 16. Let's see. Yeah, so the S20, oh, so pictures. Yeah, I would say so the prices for both of them are pretty similar. Um the processor for the S25 is the 8 Elite for Galaxy, and for the iPhone 16 it's the A18. Um the front cameras are both the same, so they're both 12 MP. Um I would say, let's see. So the iPhone 16 has been out since September 2024. But I just think they're both comparable. Like, I don't, picture wise, I'm gonna always go with the iPhone 5 just because I already know how my camera works. Or not the iPhone 5, the iPhone 16. I already know how my camera works. So I sort of, anytime I want to take pictures, I know how to place it in front of the light. What I'm trying to learn, what I'm trying to upgrade now is some studio things to sort of get my setup to where it's at a good, like my camera's at a good place wherever I am in the studio. So, but yeah, I mean, the Galaxy S25 has a brighter screen, um, and that makes a huge difference. If you're looking at both screens when the sun's out, because the iPhone 16, it sort of tops out where the Samsung picks up. So it's probably more preferable to watch videos and playing games on the Galaxy versus um, the iPhone 16. So I know that's not answering your question about cameras, but I'm doing some research here. Samsung really, they didn't make any hardware changes to their cameras, but they put the focus on upgrading their the Pro Visual engine for better imaging processing. So it may have an edge over the iPhone in the image processing. The triple camera system consists of a 50 megapixel main camera. So, you know, the iPhone 16, let's see, it apparently it doesn't have a dedicated telephoto lens. Um, but I'm seeing here in the article, it says for those of you who love cameras, the Galaxy 25 camera app offers much more, including dedicated manual modes for photos and video. So there you go. Tanu says, literally, I'm gonna turn 18, but still didn't grow a beard. Is it bad? Tanush, when I was 18, I didn't have a beard. Just my face was like, I didn't have one, and I started getting, you know, I don't know we're talking about this, but in my 20s, I started getting hair sort of, but it didn't connect. So, so no, it's not bad because I didn't have one, so I didn't. Don't worry about the beard; it'll come. It's just extra added hair you got to worry about. But yeah, it's an interesting question. Mohammed, you're back. Where'd you go? You said you're back. Where'd you go? Thanks for the fire and the emoji. Fire emoji in the chat. Mr. Human, what you got going on these days? Tell me, talk to me about your week. How has your week been? What have you been doing? And I appreciate you guys. Like, you guys have been with me the past week or past couple weeks or so. Tanush, did that answer your question about the camera? So it sounds like, according to the article, the S25 edges out the iPhone 16. But according to my opinion, I feel the iPhone is the greater phone. But that's because I what I have, and I'm biased. I am biased. Tanu says my swimming classes got postponed due to rain. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. What did they postpone till tomorrow? Will you have them tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Sorry for yawning. Who's gonna have a good weekend? I know I'm gonna have a great weekend. I may even try to come up here tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Oh, you got lessons on the 2nd, which is Monday. That's Monday. Okay. Awesome. Well, you guys, it's been great. I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys for joining today. Tanu says I'm really lazy to wake up early at morning. Oh, you lazy. Man, you got to get up, man. Got to get up. Got to get up in the mornings. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining this live today. It's been a great live. I really appreciate the support. Mr. Hunan says a ton of nothing. A ton of nothing. And of course, we'll see you guys back next week. Might have something special that I might bring to the channel. You got to stay tuned for that. Next week, I might have something a little different I may bring to the channel. I'm going to be here Tuesday, same time next week on a live, and Friday, possibly even Wednesday. Tanu says, when is the birthday? When is birthday, dude? My birthday was in April. I guess that's what you're asking. When was my birthday? Birthday was in April. Any other comments? Anybody else watching from anywhere? Let me know where you're watching from on this video. We're about to get started on my day, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. All right, guys, it's been great. You guys take it easy, and we'll see you next